Who would win the week? We've got, I think it's the first time one person has ever gone up against a group.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I don't remember. We don't even know what episode it is.
Right.
But I think you're probably right. But it's a very interesting battle.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good one for that. And it's Shrek, our Lord and Savior, versus the Seven Dwarves from Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. There is a Seven Dwarves like in Shrek or whatever, but these are the ones from the Disney movie.
Yes.
Doc, Sleepy, Grumpy, Dopey, Sneezy, Bashful.
Grumpy, Sneezy, Sleepy, Dopey, Bashful, Doc, Happy.
Happy. That's the one I forgot.
I pulled the list as a prepared podcaster. I pulled the list up because I knew.
Well, I wanted to see
no
if I
way.
could do it off the top of the helmet there.
Did you already name? Okay, so
I named them
Shrek
all.
versus the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
So here's what I'll say right away. Sleepy, irrelevant. Sleepy's not doing a thing. He'll be sleeping while his other six.
Okay, I already
Counterparts go to war.
have a million things to say about this.
Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to look. So, Sleepy, I think, becomes an irrelevant factor. I think Doc obviously is their general. Like he's. I think that Dopey is a secret weapon because if there's one thing that we know that Shrek hates, it's that donkey-like, just goofy. You know what I mean? And I
Right.
feel like that's Dopey's personality. Dopey and maybe even Happy, throw them together as almost like something to get Shrek flustered. And then Doc is in the back. Doc is like throwing up hand signals in the back, telling everybody where to go here. I think Grumpy is going to be your biggest. I don't know.
You're just trying to say he's gonna be like your basher, your enforcer.
Grumpy, I think, comes in as your enforcer.
Thing
I
about
don't
Grumpy
know.
Is
Okay, so let me I'm trying to build a plan as if I'm Doc to see how
right.
you take down someone like Shrek. How you take
Okay.
down this ogre. I think that you send Bashful at Shrek. You send Bashful up there. He's shy. He's whatever, right?
Okay.
That's what Bashful is, correct?
That's what bashful means.
So he's like shy. Moseys up, kind of gets Shrek like what the fuck, like unaware of his surroundings, and then Bashful scurries away into the woods. This is when Dopey and Happy come out and start annoying the piss out of Shrek to where Shrek is ready, like, all right, I'm just gonna kill these two fuckers. And then Grumpy and Sneezy, bam, from the sides or from behind, boom, both start attacking Shrek. Shrek's just going to start wiggling, thinking he can just throw these guys off his arm. That's when Dopey, Happy, this is Doc, kicks in now too. Boom, they're at the feet, right? So now they're at the feet. So if they can get Shrek to the ground, that's going to be the only chance. And even then, getting him on the ground doesn't necessarily guarantee them a win. What do you think? What's your thoughts here?
Well, here's the thing about you taking Sleepy out as a factor immediately. I honestly don't think that you can remove any of the dwarves because here's the thing. Maybe they're little guys and even Sleepy, obviously he does like fall asleep. Like he's a narcoleptic. He needs to be medicated. That's like his problem. They all work in a mine every single day. And you know that even Sleepy, if he was not meeting his quotas, they would kick him out. He'd be on the streets. Okay? They seem to obviously be struggling. I don't know what they're doing with all those gems. They live in that very tiny cottage. You'd think they would be able to afford a better place. Maybe they wouldn't all have to share a bedroom. I don't know.
Hi ho. Hi ho. But I think that's almost part of their, like, that's their morale. Like, listen, we're not in it for the money. Like, we love going to work every day, finding these beautiful gems.
Right, it's just
We
a
live
hobby
a
for us.
modest lifestyle, small house, all live together. eat, sleep. We're friends
regardless
with,
of what
you
it
know.
is, regardless of why they do what they do work in the mine every day, and that is hard work. So they're probably pretty strong, and I'm sure that they've got working man's hands, right? Like their hands are callous, because they're not
Yeah.
they're like old school mining, like they have pickaxes and stuff. So I think that each of them would certainly have a level of brute strength that they could bring to the table. But here's the thing: is that more than the strength that Shrek has? I think that you know you can do. I think you came up with a good plan as Doc there, and I think that would come very close to working. But I do think that for however strong these dwarves are, Shrek is also, and Shrek is really really strong. Like doesn't he like toss the dragon around at one point, or like he pulls the dragon by its
By
tail?
the chain. No, I think he grabs the chain.
And he's like, okay, well, he does something, and Shrek is strong. Like Shrek is like, I don't know if I'm gonna say he's probably not Hulk strong. He's definitely not Hulk strong, but he's like closer than you would think he would be to Hulk strength. So I think that
He's ogre strong.
he's ogre strong,
I mean, yeah.
which is really strong. So I think that you would have to have all seven dwarves on top of him to bring him down. So if you I don't think that the strategy you came up with would work.
But I don't know how. Okay, what do you got?
I think it'd have to be a full frontal assault to take out Shrek. I think that's the only way to do it. I think you have a couple
I think
guys
if
in
you
the
run,
trees. You have a couple guys in the trees, and then you just I don't know, try and catch him by surprise, storm at him. You have a couple people drop
but
down.
anybody that storms at him is one swipe of his hand getting just
Right.
yeeted
Right.
into the forest.
Sure.
And if you,
Knock him right out of the swamp.
so why, so give me a rundown again of why you assume that Snoozy is at sleep, whatever the hell his name is in this fight.
Because he's obviously working in the mines with them, so why wouldn't he show up when it's go time?
Because he's sleepy.
All right, that's a good point. But he doesn't when they kill that witch. Also, they murdered a witch, so that's another point for the dwarves. They're witch murderers, and that
Yeah.
takes some skill.
Okay.
They
Yeah,
killed a
but
witch. They did get
I
kind of
think the
lucky
sheer,
there, didn't they?
yeah.
But Sleepy was
Without
awake
a
for
doubt.
that. Sleepy was awake for that when they
Okay,
needed
so
him.
even if Sleepy's in, I really want to be able to pick the seven dwarves here. Like I'm
Yeah,
thinking as hard as I can of how they win this fight.
yeah.
But I don't think that they do. I don't think that they can take down Shrek. I'm trying to devise a plan for them.
Right.
See, I
It's
think
tough.
that maybe this is where Doc, but maybe so let's take our plans out of it and assume that Doc knows all of their strengths and weaknesses much better than we obviously do. We could barely even name all seven. So he if he can come up with a master plan that he thinks I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so here's something. Let me pick your brain with this.
Okay.
Donkey was able to infiltrate Shrek as a friend. So if they could almost trick Shrek into thinking like getting Shrek to find compassion for them, almost like love them or like become friends.
Sure. Or just play
And
on
then when
his
Shrek
loneliness.
least expect it, like let's put Shrek to sleep. Let's give him a bowl of gumbo and get him
What
all full
that
and put him
famous
to
dwarf
sleep,
gumbo.
and then slit his throat.
That's a lot to go through to win.
That's
a
the only
fist
way they
fight.
win this fight.
That's a lot to go through to win a fist fight.
That's the only way. As the only way. That's the only way that they are taking Shrek down is if they can manipulate him to the point where they catch him so off guard, like to the point of sleeping, that they just kill him.
What about traps? Because the dwarfs are obviously pretty mechanically minded folks. They built their minds. I feel like Doc, could come up with some wacky inventions. Um, they could throw some
See,
traps on there.
I'm not sure if traps will work though, only because we've seen Shrek break out of chains, right? We've seen
And
armies of men come to get him, and he
right,
breaks out of chains. So what are you building a trap out of? The only way that you could build a trap to contain Shrek was if they
right.
had a gem in their minds
Yeah,
that was like almost like diamond, like the strongest like material that you could find, and they had a
right.
way as dwarves to fuse said material together to
Yeah,
build like a stronger than like a trap stronger than
right.
human knowledge.
A trap beyond all traps. I like this conversation. How do you trap a Shrek if you needed to trap one? You create a cage made out of diamonds and hope for the best. I think what you really have to do in that situation though to catch a Shrek is you dig a pit and then you line the pit with those diamonds and stuff. And then because you have to put it's got to be heavy, right? Cuz he'll be able to like lift up whatever. I'm sure he can punch through stone if given enough time, certainly. Um, so if they could do that, then maybe they would beat him. But this is who would win of the week. This is all about bare knuckles, going to
Yeah.
blows against each other. And when it comes right down to it, if you play out this in your head, if you're just looking at this, the dwarves are coming in from at Shrek from all sides, and he's just smacking them. He's just throwing them right out of the swamp, tossing them all over the place, swatting them away like flies. I think I think that yeah, there's just no way that they could overpower Shrek at the end of the day, even all seven of them. Because you're absolutely right. We've seen him, not just perform these physical feats, but also take on a lot of enemies at a time, like grown men. Although I do think the dwarves would maybe be stronger than some grown men because of all that mind work and stuff. Um, but yeah, even a full frontal assault, I think that Shrek is just swatting these guys away, just knocking them around, and they get back up. I mean, I think that maybe they tire them out a little bit, but there's no way they'd be able to hold their own at the end of the day, just getting thrown against trees and stuff like that so many
I don't think
times.
so either. I think Shrek's kicking their ass, which kind of sucks because like I said, I really wanted to believe that these seven little people, these seven dwarfs who live such a simple life, could band together and take on the evil ogre that Shrek has the potential to be, and I just don't think that it is plausible. So I guess if we're locking in our answers, I would have to go with Shrek, and I would assume you will too, correct?
Yeah, and like I said, thinking about this, I just had pictured the dwarves, like climbing up Shrek and overpowering him. But we've just seen too many times the strength of Shrek. And while I think that the dwarves would, put up a pretty good fight for a bunch of Disney dwarfs, you just can't take down Shrek. I mean, the guy's gritty, and like I said, he's just a beast. He's an animal. You can't beat Shrek. Many have tried.
Nobody has succeeded, especially Lord Farquaad. Didn't Big Forehead try to go up against him the one
Great
time?
pull, great pull. What a name,
Yeah,
Farquaad.
yeah. Yeah. So bottom line is, and this is something that's rare because there's again not often that we agree when there's no guest on,
Yeah.
especially right. So this is one for the we're still going to send it to social media, and I would love to see if somebody can come up with a plan for the dwarves that would be plausible for them to beat Shrek because
As
I
long
would
as
love to
you
hear it.
can't
I would love to be on the
underestimate
dwarf
them.
side.
You can't underestimate
No,
them.
but I do think that Shrek is just too strong for them being, and I think that so. We'll call it after this because we locked in our votes. But I think the only fair way to give them a real chance, if we would have thought about this before, was to give them their pickaxes, their mining axes,
Yeah.
or like their shovels or whatever going into the fight. But even then, I still don't
Right,
know
because
that
Shrek is
Shrek.
used to the angry mob
Yeah,
coming after him, right?
yeah.
I'm
Oh
sure
yeah, I
some of those
forgot
guys
about the angry mobs.
have had
So
axes and
yeah,
stuff like that.
a lot of pitchforks and flaming things. They definitely have a lot of that.
Torches.
Torches, yeah.